It's a no-go with avoidance. What should you never do in a relationship with someone who has an avoidant attachment style? In this video, we'll talk about people with an avoidant attachment style and what kind of relationships can be built with them. In reality, these people struggle with closeness and emotional attachment. They find it hard to build relationships where they can open up and trust the person next to them. Any pressure used in a relationship is unacceptable for them. Any pressure can be rejection, panic. Any pressure in a relationship is a shock for them and can lead to the relationship falling apart. So if you are trying to build an avoidant attachment style relationship with a man, you need to be patient. That is, if you have a desire and you understand that you have the strength for this, then you need patience and the relationship will develop slowly and smoothly. So today we're going to talk about what you shouldn't do in a relationship with this type of attachment in order to maintain and develop it. And the first thing is, don't pressure your partner with emotions. That is, a woman, for example, wants him to talk to her about something, open his soul, talk about feelings. But he's not ready for that. If you pressure him, then pressure equals fear and a desire to pull away. As soon as you start to put pressure on him with feelings, with openness, he, on the contrary, may distance himself. And even relationships, especially if it's an early stage, can fall apart quickly. So, let your partner share his feelings at his own pace. That is, when he will see that everything is actually safe for him. When he sees that he is comfortable in this relationship, he will begin to open up. But it will be gradual. If you don't pressure him, you'll see everything for yourself and a safe environment. Respect his boundaries. When he realizes that his border is not encroached upon, when he understands that they are not attacking him, not trying to deprive him of something, take something away, not trying to invade his territory, then he enters into the relationship, smoothly and slowly takes a closer look, begins to trust, begins to show his feelings. But if there's pressure, if things are happening too fast, then it all scares the guy. Next, the second point, understanding space needs. Sometimes this type just needs to be alone with himself in order to restore his own emotional balance. And if you try to take away his solitude and personal space again, then in the relationship, he starts to feel suffocated. It's like he can't catch his breath, and now he wants to escape from the relationship. And that's why, give him space. When he needs it, respect his personal boundaries. Time alone for him, it's a chance to recover. And support him, but don't push yourself on him. That is, a relationship with such a person will develop as if in slow motion, very smoothly. Everything is gradual. Otherwise, the relationship is destroyed. Otherwise, the relationship is frightening. If a guy needs some time alone, give it to him. Don't pressure him. Don't force him to spend time with you 24/7. Otherwise, it feels like suffocation to him. Next, don't try to change him. If you want to ruin the relationship and make him feel inadequate, then tell him that he needs to change. If you understand that your man has an avoidant attachment style, then don't try to change anything in him. Any criticism is taken as pressure. When you expect him to change, when you talk about how he should be different, it creates that feeling of inadequacy. For him, he starts to feel like he's not the right fit for you, and he might just withdraw. Next, don't threaten to end the relationship. If you use threats in a relationship with someone who has an avoidant attachment style, then he might even experience. So that kind of threat can make him feel panic and shut down. Plus it creates distrust. He stops trusting the woman who's next to him. So she threatened him once, saying, "Well done." Then we break up and now he can't trust her, and here we need to talk about feelings without threats. That is, if something happened in your situation, in your relationship, you felt something bad, tell him about your feelings. That is, for example, you were upset about something, and you say that I was upset by a certain situation in which you behaved. So, I experienced a spectrum of such and such feelings, and then a man sees you with different eyes. That is, he understands what you experienced. He understands your feelings. At that moment, he doesn't hear threats or that he's being called bad. He understands that you don't want to experience these feelings in the future. And that's exactly the kind of conversation that helps relationships grow. But if you say things like, "You're bad, you did this and that," and If it happens again, we're breaking up, all of that feels like a threat to him. It sends him into a panic. He stops trusting you, and the relationship will slowly start to fall apart. Next, don't ignore your own needs. In relationships, with an avoidant type, with someone who basically fears relationships, if you've entered into such a relationship, it's important not to lose yourself. Because when you focus on his feelings, his emotions, his experiences, and the development of the relationship, and you dive deep into all of that and forget a bit about yourself, that's not good either. Leave time for yourself, for your own emotions, feelings, preferences. Sacrificing and actually ignoring your own emotions, feelings, desires will only lead you to discontent. And this discontent will destroy your own relationships. So, set personal boundaries. Choose a time for yourself when you will only do what brings you pleasure. It's really important for you, like when you're spending time with your friends or engaging in a hobby, doing things you enjoy, right? This is necessary to restore your own strength and fill yourself. And do not forget about openness. Openness in communication with such a person, with this type of attachment, is very important. When he realizes that he doesn't need to defend himself from his partner, that he doesn't have to be on guard or be afraid, and when he realizes that she is being honest and open with him, then the relationship moves forward and develops. And that's when true mutual understanding is born. And lastly, don't criticize. Criticism will actually only increase his fear and isolation. As soon as you say things like, "You're bad for this," and that you did something wrong, you should have done it differently, you acted poorly in that situation, he hears that he's being criticized. For him, criticism is a really, let's say, tough thing to deal with. At the moment he's being criticized, all his fears just get amplified. And that kind of person shuts down. He withdraws into himself. That's it. Now it's hard to get him out of that place. Again, it's hard for him to trust again. It is difficult for him to build relationships. It is difficult for him to understand the person next to him. So, avoid destructive emotions. Run away from criticism, pressure, ultimatums, conditions, any, and speak more from the heart. Speak openly, trustingly, and honestly. Then, man, that's it. He will feel it, and he will not be afraid. He will not close himself off, and he will trust. And here, the relationship will be built on that mutual understanding and will develop much faster. That's all I have for this video. It was me, Elisa Vardomskaya, with you. I hope for your likes and subscriptions. Leave a comment about what you'd like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell.